Hazbin Hotel Season 2. This was quite the interesting season. I waited until all the episodes were out to make this whole video talking about it. I'm not gonna say I hated the season. I can say I liked Season 2 more than Season 1. But despite that, there are still problems in the story we really can't ignore, especially when it comes to its characters. Things that don't really make sense to characters that just downright infuriating to watch. You can watch this video or play in the background if you like, and if you're drawing, I bet it looks amazing. So everyone, let's talk about Hazbin Hotel Season 2. Spoilers ahead in case you haven't seen it. Okay, let's start off with things I actually like. First of all, just like Season 1, I praised it for the songs. The songs were really good. Season 2 just takes it up to 10 notches, the animation being even better than before. Originally, I was worried for the song because everyone was making fun of the song Has Been Guaranteed. Overall, the song was okay, it just felt a little corny. The only other song I didn't really care for was Piss, which was a love song between Cherry Bomb and Sir Pentious, which I will get more into later. Pretty much the rest of the song in these seasons, I had a lot of fun listening to. Love in a Bottle, Losing Streak, Gravity, Easy, Don't You Forget, these are my top faves. They are very catchy. Baxter and Nifty are insanely cute. Nifty protecting him in the last episode, them doing such silly things together, they are my new favorite duo in the show. I couldn't get enough of it. Season 1 Nifty was a little forgettable in my opinion, but I love her way more in this season. Abel and Sir Pentious really grew on me fast. I love we got to see more of Heaven and Sierra's true form, which is giving biblically accurate angel. The speaker of God is beautiful and her voice is so soft and whimsical, and I'm curious what God looks like in this universe. Okay, what else? I like the Bendy the Ink Machine reference. Okay, let's just get into the problems with the season. Okay, synopsis of Season 2. After the failed extermination of Season 1, everyone now knows that the only way to kill angels is with angelic weapons. So the Vees, which is Vox, Valentino, and Velvet, who are powerful overlords, want to start an uprising of all the sinners and take over heaven, using their resources to indoctrinate sinners to their cause, using the news and social media to get on top and also make the hotel look bad and that redemption is dumb. When it was just the trailers, I understood why people were a little worried about Season 2 being kind of a downgrade because the villains went from being angels to just other demons. And yeah, I was worried too, but after watching Season 2 entirely, I don't think it was a bad choice. I mean, it would make sense sinners would want to take revenge on the angels after finding out their weakness. And there's a little small side plot where we have scenes in heaven with Sir Pentious, who is the first redeemed sinner. The higher angels are stressed out that sinners are going to want revenge. Emily wants to help make things right, and Sierra feels guilt for the exterminations, which resorts to heaven being locked down for safety. So I'm not going to say the plot is bad, but just like Season 1, its execution can kind of fall flat at times. So first, let's get the angel characters out of the way, mainly Emily, Lute, and Sierra. Lute was the first character I wanted to address, because in my Season 1 video, I expressed that I wanted Lute to be a good villain. Obviously not the main villain because that is the Vees, but I was hoping she'd be a side villain. Before the show came out, they released the song Gravity, which is really good, and that's what got me hyped in the first place because I was hoping to see her more in action since in Season 1 she doesn't do much. It's quite clear how much she craves revenge, that seeing Adam die in front of her heavily affected her to the point she sees Adams in hallucinations. It's even revealed she had feelings for him, but let's be honest, I doubt he'd feel the same way. So what does the show do with a character who wants to cause destruction to the one she believes did her wrong? Absolutely nothing. She has this insanely cool song and that's it. If you remove her from the season entirely, nothing changes aside from some missing interactions. Big disappointment for the season. And when her and the other angels visit Charlie in episode 5 to apologize for what they did, Charlie does not acknowledge her once. Also, I'm sure an extermination angel would be the last angel sinners would like to see. But again, she basically doesn't exist in the show. Not much to say about Abel in this show because we've only seen some of him, but he's very enjoyable to watch. And yeah, his dad Adam died, but he doesn't really seem to care all that much, plus Adam never really liked him apparently anyways. Also, he's voiced by the lead singer of the band Fall Out Boys. It couldn't get any better than that. Sierra now knows sinners can be redeemed. She helps lock down heaven until further notice, and now she feels guilt because of all the previous sinners who were killed that could have been redeemed, which, yeah, sure, there probably were sinners who didn't deserve what happened to them, but I doubt that amount is bigger than the sinners who absolutely deserved it. A lot of these sinners did awful things, and there is no point of redemption, and they probably don't even want to try. And then there's demons like Pentious, which we will get more into later. Her turning into her biblical form and saying, yeah, this is why we have these exterminations because of awful demons like Vox, which, yeah, that's fair, but it was really bad timing because they came down to apologize for what they did. Emily isn't bad, but like I said, she's the angel version of Charlie. She is very naive and she seems very coddled, which of course affects her negatively, but she still is very caring and overall a nice character. She's really trying her best to help Pentious, and she wants there to be no more bloodshed. It's just when serious situations arise, it's hard for her to handle. And speaking of Charlie, let's get into her. Oh, Charlie. Where do I even start with Charlie? Her character throughout most of season 2 made me want to turn the TV off. I said in my previous video that Charlie was a bit much, but they ramped it up to 100. Season 1, she felt so boring to me, like a side character in her own show, but season 2, she's just awful. I've heard some people say she acts like this because she was born in Pride Ring. She's going to be prideful, which could make sense, and also now thanks to Emily, she knows sinners can be redeemed. So she is desperately trying to prove to everyone her dream is achievable, but it's still hard to watch. She does not listen to anyone. Vaggie repeatedly tells Charlie that dealing with Vox Tech is not a good idea. They're going to continually make the hotel look bad, because that's what they do. They have control of the network, but Charlie just disregards what Vaggie says and others' opinions. She pushes boundaries, especially when it comes to angel dust, not taking no for an answer. How can someone like that teach others how to redeem? In episode 3, after failing to redeem Angel Dust, she asked what was his sin because she figured out that the only way to possibly redeem a sinner is to redeem them of what sin they committed. Vox answers that it was murder, which upsets Angel Dust and she demands he leaves, but she asks and he answered. And she probably would have kept pushing for an answer either way because she does not care about boundaries. And Angel Dust is right. Her saying sorry constantly starts to mean less. And he has every right to be upset at her because he repeatedly said he does not want to talk about it. Oh, but what gave me such an awful taste in my mouth regarding Charlie is how she treats the people she quote-unquote cares about. So episode 4, Charlie goes on live news with news anchor Katie Killjoy to hopefully reverse the slanderization because Vox and Velvet made them look terrible. So Charlie decides to take Nifty with her to clear things up, which terrible idea to bring Nifty. Still love her though. So Katie actively disrespects Charlie throughout the entire interview, not letting her get a word in, using her words against her to make it look worse, which helps Vox with his plan of an uprising. The entire time Charlie is upset, but she isn't outright angry to the point her demonic features begin to show. But the thing is, she should be. They are actively stomping on her dreams of redemption and disrespecting her in front of thousands. But instead, she's arguing with Katie like a toddler. And then when she's kicked out, she's like, I'm the princess. Act like it? Not once does she ever act like one. She never uses her authority when she needs to. She is a complete pushover. How is anyone supposed to respect her? But let's skip to the next episode where the angels try to apologize to the sinners. Earlier, Vaggie wanted Lucifer to smite Vox because if Vox is smited, everything would be solved, but Lucifer apparently can't smite sinners, which is so dumb. The only way they did that is because Lucifer could have fixed his whole mess. So way to make him look more useless than he already is. Anyways, Charlie finds out Lucifer threatened Vox and she bursts into the hotel doors to find him with a line of fire, completely enraged. She even knocks a table away to yell at him, and then when she finds out Vaggie's involved, she yells at her too. And real quick, we still don't know what daddy issues she even has. It isn't explained why they don't talk much, and whenever she needs help, he was right there even if he doesn't agree. So for her to lose her absolute marbles on him is insane. Where was this same anger towards the Vees or Katie? This genuinely grosses me out watching this as someone who's experienced this before. Someone taking their anger out on the ones who don't deserve it instead of of the ones who do. She barely has gotten enraged with the Vees. She even tells her own dad to leave the hotel because she says he's messed things up for her enough. I can't put into words how upsetting this is. Charlie even has the nerve to say Vaggie does stuff behind her back. Charlie doesn't listen. She just disregards her girlfriend entirely. But I could have bet money that Charlie and Vaggie, after fighting, that the very next episode the two of them were makeup. And yes, I was right. There is no real consequences for the way she treats others. Charlie x Vaggie is incredibly boring to me. And as much as I love the song Easy, Vaggie, your girlfriend is breaking down right in front of you, extremely stressed. I don't think this was the best way to resolve it, but hey, that's just me. Can't believe what I'm about to say, but Angel Dust has grown on me this season. Now, let me explain why. In my last Hazbin Hotel video, I compared him to Stolas because how similar they are. Angel Dust was harassing Husk, constantly making sexual remarks, pushing boundaries, is insanely touchy. However, in this season, there is a huge change with Angel Dust. Everything I hate about Angel Dust in season 1 was either heavily toned down or no longer exists. Not once in a season does he push boundaries, you can even see how much he's improving, and I really feel bad for him this season. Angel Dust going back to Valentino after realizing he was being used to spy on the hotel devastated me. So while I'm not fully on board with Angel Dust, he is much more likable in this season. This is what's supposed to happen, a character improving as the season go on, and him finally being in drag again is perfect. That being said, I want to talk more about Husk as Angel Dust because something about them together, it kind of rubs me the wrong way. Mainly episode 3, Husk helps Charlie convince Angel Dust to be her little guinea pig, which doesn't really feel like something he'd do, and later on in the episode when Charlie's plan fails miserably, Angel Dust tries to save Husk from the train that Charlie built. While Angel Dust standing directly in front of the train was dumb, Husk threatening to spank him took me so off guard I had to rewind it. Another weird thing about Husk x Angel Dust, Husk often refers to him as kid. In episode 5 when he leaves the hotel, he even says Angel Dust is a grown man and he doesn't need him. That sounds more like a father and son relationship rather than a romantic one. It's quite obvious there's feelings between them, but these scenes rub me the wrong way. And speaking of ships, let's talk about his friend Cherry Bomb. Her and Sir Pentious having feelings together doesn't make sense to me. Season 1 there wasn't much implied of romance between the two of them, aside from Sir Pentious asking her out and then later kissing her, but that was closer to the end of the season. If they had more interactions, I think Cherry Bomb wanting to learn about Sir Pentious and missing him would have had more of an effect. Even some subtle flirting in the pilot at least would have implied that there was potential romantic feelings. That would have worked well to progress the ship. This is going to be short, but Sir Pentious is the best. We love him over here. And we got to learn his backstory. We learned that he was an inventor in the 1800s and has always kept to himself, but loved to watch people because it made him feel like he wasn't alone. However, one day he witnessed a woman getting murdered. He didn't say anything, and because of that, the murderer killed 5 more. I looked it up and it seemed to be confirmed this was Jack the Ripper, who was a real-life killer in the 1800s. If Sir Pentious said something, he could have prevented this, and because of his guilt, he ended up a sinner. And him sacrificing himself, not wanting to see his friends hurt, is why he's redeemed. So what exactly is his sin? I heard theories it's sloth, which could make sense. The sloth sin is neglect or laziness. But what confuses me is how does someone who's overall a chill and anxious person who's kept to himself become evil? Now, yes, while not saying anything if you witness someone do something terrible also makes you in the wrong, but I wonder if he would have done better in Purgatory. Purgatory is the middle ground, a place for one who committed sin can purify themselves before going to heaven. Does Purgatory even exist in this universe? It's never been mentioned, but I would love to hear what y'all would think when it comes to this. How bad does someone's sin has to be to end up as a sinner? Oh, where do I even start with these two? Before Alastor died, he made a deal with Rosie to become the most powerful sinner. That means Rosie owns him, which is the irony because he ridicules Vox for needing assistance from Velvet and Valentino. Meanwhile, Alastor himself literally made a deal to get where he is. So I heard others think Rosie is racist because Alastor is black, but no, that doesn't make sense. And before someone types away in the comments says, yeah, well what do you know? I'm African American. So yeah, Rosie isn't racist for owning Alastor. Alastor literally agreed to the deal because of what he'd get out of it. Now, Rosie calling him her pet and saying dog command is very strange. She wouldn't be the only overlord to mistreat someone they own. But what catches me off guard is why Rosie and how? In the first season, they look like such good friends. They seem to get along well. So the sudden shift from this to this is weird. And the second question is, who is Rosie? Some made theories that she's secretly Lilith or Eve, but I'm not really sure about these theories. Unless this was kind of like a White Lily cookie situation, I doubt it. But how is she able to make another demon the most powerful sinner? Wouldn't she have to be the most powerful sinner in order to do so? What exactly is her plan? You see how much this doesn't really make sense? But back to Alastor. After episode 4, people were dragging him in the comments, calling him a fraud, which he kind of is. At first, I was confused with Alastor's plan to no longer work for Rosie, but after thinking, it finally hit me. So I already said that Alastor made a deal with Rosie to be more powerful sinner. That's their deal. However, by helping Vox and Charlie saying that Vox is the most powerful sinner, Rosie and Alastor's deal is now broken because she can no longer hold up her end of the deal. And then Vox broke his deal with Alastor as well, which means he is now free. Also, Vox is a total idiot. So I'm not gonna say his plan was dumb because it did work and at least makes sense when you realize it. Although Vox absolutely embarrassed this man for hours just because he's insanely bitter. And Alastor had to deal with all of it. Just pure public humiliation. But just like season 1, he didn't really do much in this season. But at least there is the implication he maybe cares about others because he kept the crown Nifty made for him, and when he says Valentino is about to shoot Nifty, he quickly calls off the fight between him and the other Vees. But he's either standing around being annoyed about his staff or tied to a chair. That was most of season 2. But he also did help drive a bigger wedge between Vox and the other Vees. Speaking of the Vees, finally, the main villains of the season. Velvet is okay. I do like how she constantly changes her outfits from scene to scene. The witch aesthetic that she has is nice, but I really don't know what that's supposed to do with her character. Her powers involve social media, which is very creative, and at least she has more scenes. And then there's Valentino. I hate this guy so much. I really don't like how the show tries to get us to sympathize with this guy. Mind you, this guy is an abuser. There's literally a gag in the show where Vox tells Valentino to stop abusing angel dust as much because it makes them look bad. Valentino thinks he doesn't abuse angel dust like that. So Vox has a compilation of Valentino abusing angel dust, which again, with the humor of the show, how is this supposed to be funny? The show tries to get us to sympathize because Vox is kind of cutting out the other Vees, wanting all the credit and glory for himself. And then Valentino's like, oh, what if he forgets about me? Because the two of them are in a relationship. And when I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, boo-hoo. Let me play the world's smallest violin. Same thing with Velvet. I don't feel bad for either of them. This is what y'all get. Oh, and the part that really grinds my gears is that in the final episode of season 2, basically the Vees had a weapon made by Camilla to help take over heaven, and it's fueled by Lucifer because he was an angel. The weapon was becoming unstable and it was going to blow up. So in this bootleg My Little Pony friendship is magic fashion, everyone comes together and uses their powers to sing to help stop the bomb from blowing up and killing everyone, including Velvet and Valentino. Why are these two allowed in the friendship circle, or whatever this is, to help everyone? They do not deserve the credit. Part of this is their fault. And now the moment we've been waiting for, Vox. The only reason Vox almost won is because of the assassination of all the other characters. Charlie just being insufferable, Lucifer unable to smite demons, Vaggie basically not getting to do anything, Lute not doing anything, the Angels barely doing anything, Alastor becoming his puppet, Angel Dust being used as a spy, even though Baxter was literally right there. Also, he can control technology. Why didn't he just spy on them like that? Everything up to the final episode worked perfectly in Vox's favor, and he is insanely obsessed with Alastor. And I saw people defending Vox saying, oh, Alastor rejecting him for being business partners was so awful. Guys, Vox was a cult leader before he died. He killed different news anchors to get where he was before his death. He was building a cult, telling anyone who listened to him to trust him, trust his words, follow his lead. He literally had a throne too. He was a terrible person. And again, he's kind of dumb. He does not waste a second when taking the deal with Alastor. He didn't think once about what Alastor's intentions was. He doesn't think about how this might backfire on him. And why would Alastor make a deal with him after years of despising each other? His ego is massive, and he lets Alastor get in his head. He was trying so hard to prove to Alastor that he doesn't need anyone, that he is the best of the best, that he was going to be a god, and everything he did was his idea, and he pushing the other Vees in the back so he can have all the glory. However, he was still a very entertaining villain, way better than Adam. He's selfish, he's powerful, overall a good villain that carried this season, and we finally get to see his more fully demonic form. I pretty much enjoyed all of his scenes. His song Brighter was great. Back when he was a human and his name was Vincent, and he grows more powerful as a cult leader, you can see how more crazed he's becoming because the power is getting to his head. His defeat in the final episode is satisfying, with him pretty much being demoted to an iPad, but I wish Vox being a cool villain did not come at the expense of everyone else in the show being absolutely useless or purely unlikable. It just felt too easy, too convenient for him. How did he accomplish all this that easily? It's like everybody in the show has lost their brain cells in order to make him look like he's this incredible mastermind. It's the exact same argument of making a character more likable. You have to make everyone else insufferable, which doesn't work. You just hate everyone. There is still a lot of things that's confusing with this show. For example, what were they even doing here? Where was this magic even coming from? I swear they were using My Little Pony magic. How is Carmilla even able to make angelic weapons? How does she get access to the metals unless there is someone providing these metals to her? The only thing that would make sense to me is that it's another angel. Who is Rosie and what was her plan? What was with Lilith? What was her deal and why is she avoiding her daughter for possibly years? Now, I didn't do this for my previous Hazbin Hotel video, but I'm going to do this now. I want to give my own rating for season 1 and 2. So, for Hazbin Hotel season 1, I am going to rate this a good 5.5 out of 10. Not bad, not super great, it was fine. Season 1 was of course where a lot of my criticisms originally stemmed from. I didn't hate it, it's alright. Could have been better. Now, for Hazbin Hotel season 2, we can go with 7 out of 10. Like I said, was way more entertaining than before. The episodes are longer in the season, which I think benefits the show. Problems from season 1 is certainly better handled in this season, but it still has its own problems. I will definitely watch season 2 way more than season 1. And of course, Sir Pentious is best Snake Boy. Overall, I think I went through everything I wanted to talk about regarding the season. So, thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps my channel. Please check out my comic on Tumblr, link in the description. Let me know your opinions on season 2. And do you have any theories for season 3? And as always, stay amazing, you stars.